What's up, nerds? Today we have our finals from our store championship. This is this is Shoutmon Mega Zoo versus my StarLord deck. This is the finals between the two undefeateds after the first 3 rounds. Finley did win the die roll here, and he is going first. So he digivolves into Shoutmon, then plays a Shoutmon from his hand, looks to top 5 cards. Adds Digimon with Shoutmon its name, and another one with Blitz. So he's obviously playing a very unconventional deck, and this was the first week he actually played it. But the Shoutmon, looking at the top 5 cards, did give me a good idea of what to play around anytime he played one. By the way, prepare yourselves. There are going to be some misplays from myself from this game. I think my brain was completely fried after the first 3 rounds. So just prepare yourselves. There's probably going to be several in this match. I start my turn off by digivolving into Digimon. Then I play Starmons for 3 to just kill his Shoutmon. And then I digivolve for 1 in my breeding area, just keep it safe to choke him to 1. So I do know he's playing some kind of weird Mega Zoo Shoutmon deck at this point, but I don't know like the specific cards in it. I just know what people have told me. Which is basically just he's playing a super wild deck. So Finley hard plays a Lordknightmon for 10 to put me to 9. So I do know with Mega Zoo decks, their 6s usually aren't a big deal. You just want to keep their 7s from touching the field. So my goal here is to try to get his 6s off the board before he gets a chance to play his 7s. That's my game plan. So I digivolve into Superstarmon, digivolve into Lordknightmon. And I do have a Spiral Masquerade in my hand, so I just have to have 2 more bodies hit the field and I'll be able to blow up his Digimon. So I hard play a Gladiamon for 4, just take a peek at my security. We definitely do have a Spiral Masquerade in there, but we do not have any Warrior or Holy Warrior targets. Then I swing into a security, activate Lordknightmon's effects. Play another Gladiamon, and I don't bother activating the effect since it is optional and I know that I don't have any targets. My check is a Tai and Matt, which is unfortunate. He is going to get an extra 2 memory at the beginning of his turn, but not a huge deal, since he's probably going to give me quite a bit back since he is playing Mega Zoo. So I spiral, minus 4k on the Digimon, and then he gets an extra 2 memory from the Tai and Matt to go to 6. Plays another Shoutmon for 3, and I get to look at even more cards from his deck, very useful. So I get to see he's playing Mechanorimon, and then I believe that's Bancho Golemon, the blocker that Black got in BT4, that gives itself an additional 4,000 or 3,000 DP if your opponent has like 3 or more Digimon on the field. A pretty interesting tech for this format. It's cheap play cost at 11 for Mega Zoo, and it gets bigger if your opponent starts swarming. But knowing that he's playing that and Mechanorimon's very useful information. I already know that he's playing the Omnimon X Antibody from the first Shoutmon. And he Gaia Forces my Lordknightmon and puts me to 5. Unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. He is forced to give me quite a bit of memory to do that. So I digivolve on top of my egg with my Digimon. Then I play my Pulsemon for 3 to draw a card. And we do know that we have Spiral Masquerade in our security, so making my board wide is definitely not a bad thing. So I just play a TK for 4 to put him to 2. And I actually have more than 1 Spiral Masquerade in my security, so I grab one of them out. I do remember that part. It's the first time I've ever made that play. Some people might think that you're desperate. Some people might assume that you have a second one in there. But I knew what I was doing when I went and grabbed that. So I could have an answer if he dropped another level 6, as I could just kill it on my turn. He swings security with Shoutmon. Digimon is alive, so he's 2k. Runs into a Kodomon and dies anyway. Swings with the other Shoutmon, checks a Meteor Shower. And unfortunately I don't have any targets in my hand, so I can't play anything for free. Not a huge deal though. Him putting me to 3 security is cool because it turns my Upamons on. And it makes my Pulsemons effectively 2 play costs as well. So he plays Metal Siegramon, and Metal Siegemon's effect activates and returns up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon back to their hand. I was going to try to just go for a kill shot on my turn if he hadn't done that, but unfortunately he did. Not a huge deal though. I do get to Digivolve with those if I wish, since he put them back in my hand. And I can play them, since I did recover into something with the TK. Potentially could have a target in there for Gladiamon now. I go ahead and Digivolve with one of them. Digivolve again for Super StarMon. Pretty nice having cheap Evos in this deck. I highly recommend running the Super StarMon package for anyone that wants to run Lordknightmon. I Digivolve into Lordknightmon. And I swing into Shoutmon, draw from Upamon, and then activate Lordknightmon's effect. To play Pulsemon. Pulsemon, I gain a memory and draw a card. I don't swing into a security because I know I can't kill him on this turn, so there's no point in me risking checking something weird. I'd rather just get rid of his board presence. Then I Spiral Masquerade to get the Metal Siegramon off the field. He goes to 1 and then gains 2 from Ty and Matt's effect. He plays another Shoutmon, looks at the top 5 cards. Now I know he's playing Defeat, and he's also playing Mega Fusion. He does whiff on Shoutmon's effect, though. And then he Warp Digivolves into Omni Shoutmon, and it puts me to 4. I did not catch it and put myself to 3. I swing security with Lordknightmon, draw from Upamon, then activate Lordknightmon's effect. Play Gladiamon. Now I take a peek and see if I recovered into a target. I did not. I check security for 15,000 and beat over the Omnimon that has 14,000 DP. I Blinding Ray to go to 5, even though I should be going to 6. I play Gladiamon, no effects. And then I play Saruman's to kill him and put him to 2. Even though it should actually put him to 1. He plays another Metal Siegramon, puts me to 7, and turns 2 of my level 4 lower Digimon back to my hand. Not a huge deal. I can kill him either way on my turn. Unless I check something nasty. Puts the 2 Gladiamons back into my hand. Not a big deal. Swing security with Lordknightmon, draw from Upa, activate Lordknightmon's effect. Play Kodomon, just to see if we can add some Nightmons to our hand. We do hit 1 Nightmon. Put some pretty good cards at the bottom of the deck, but not a big deal. Beat over the Omnimon in security. And now we just swing out. Because we have Bushi in our hand and we have enough memory to where it doesn't matter. Swing again. Alright, and we do take game 1. Don't forget, guys, we are doing a giveaway for a sealed box of 1.0. The link for that is in the description, so make sure you guys check that out if you have not entered already. Alright, and Finley chooses to go first for game 2. I'm not 100% sure why. I think going second, if you're running any kind of Mega Zoo deck, is probably best, but he does open with a Shoutmon, so he gets to play it and look at the top 5 cards. And he completely whiffs again on his targets. Alright, and we start our turn by hatching, obviously. Game plan's the same here. Just keep his 6s off the field if I can, so his 7s never touch the field. If I can do that, I should be able to win pretty easily. We do Digivolve our StarMons, because we do have multiple in our hand. I don't want to leave his Shoutmon on the field because that's just an easy free security check that he can just run into my security with. So I do the same thing I did game 1. Alright, Kodomon first. Look at the top 5 cards. Very nice. Add... So we have the opportunity to add 2 Lordknightmons if we want. And that's what we're going to do. Add double Lordknightmon. Seems good. And then I StarMons to kill the Shoutmon. Put him to 3. And he plays the Bancho Golemon for 11, put me to 8. That's a big boy blocker. Pretty good card if you're playing Mega Zoo this format, just because he gets pretty large if your opponent has a wide board. But by the way, this is the game that you will see the misplays in. Besides the missing the memory on game 1, there wasn't really any misplays by me. But so I Digivolve into Glidymon for 2 here, and go to 6. And I play a Knightmon. One, I want to choke him, and 2, if he gives me too much memory, he knows I can just Lordknightmon him on my turn. So I figured that was the best thing I could do. Also, I'm concerned about him potentially dropping Alter S on me and nuking my board if I put just a bunch of like level 4s and level 3s on my side of the field. He does manage to choke me by playing a Takumi though. But I mean, it's not really like... I'm not getting punished here. I just don't get to drop a Lordknightmon without ending my turn. He does have a Gaia Force in his hand. He's definitely hoping that I Lordknightmon to pass the turn to him so he can just Gaia Force it without it getting its effect off. And I go ahead and Meteor Shower to put another level 7... I'm sorry, another level 5 on the field. Because I know that they're immune to Alter S. And he knows I have 2 Lordknightmons in my hand. I know he knows I have 2 Lordknightmons in my hand. So I'm just building up a threatening board, and he knows he can't give me a whole bunch of memory. I can just Digivolve twice and start going ham. And he does have it. He does have the Alter S, so I am glad that I played around that. He does give me 4 memory, though, to do that. He just kills 2 guys. Not really a big deal. Now the only concern I have about the Alter S is the potential for him to put an X antibody on the field. Because that is a very powerful card, and it is kind of hard to get a 15,000 DP Digimon off the field in my deck. Or with my deck, I should say. Spiral obviously can get there, but you have to have a pretty wide board to do. You have to have 5 guys on the field, which, I mean, it's doable. It's just not as easy as other DP thresholds. Digivolve into Lordknightmon. Swing Security, activate Lordknightmon's effect. Play Glidymon. Glidymon searches in my security. Once again, no targets. Hashtag feels bad, man. And we do beat over the 12k Digimon because we are at 14,000 DP right now. And so I Digivolve on this turn. My concern is if I give him 3 memory, he'll Digivolve into X Antibody and then be able to like start just nuking my board. But he does swing with Alter S, activate the effects to make him unblockable, and swing over my Lordknightmon. But I have two level 5s on the field, and he does know that I have a Lordknightmon in my hand, so like I can just do the same thing next turn. It does feel bad getting rid of the Lordknightmon. I'm sorry, the Knightmon in my hand. But I had to do that in order to avoid giving him 3 memory, and not like quote wasting something. I didn't want to just drop the StarMons for no reason because it felt like a waste. And he plays a Bansham Golemon for 11 to put me to 9. This is definitely a turn I misplay, so prepare yourselves for it. My brain was completely fried, and having to play against this super non-standard deck definitely wasn't helping. And I Digivolve on top of the one that does not have a stack. I still don't know if he's not playing Ultimate Flare, so that's why I didn't Digivolve on the actual stack. Just to play around Ultimate Flare a little bit. Because if I just Digivolved on top of the stack, he could have just gotten rid of the entire Digimon. But if he Ultimate Flares this board the way it is, it just Digivolves Lordknightmon down 1. And like doesn't really accomplish anything. That's something to think about whenever you're playing against any deck that has access to Ultimate Flares, things like that. And so just so you guys know, Bancho Golemon is 14,000 DP right now and has blocker. I'm not sure what happened to my brain on this turn. For some reason, I think I didn't account for the fact that I was going to have another guy on the field when I swung. So I was forced to do it like this. Honestly, I'm not really sure. Like, there's not really a good reason for this play. But you guys will see what it is. So I swing into the Alter S and play the Knightmon. And I use the Knightmon to minus 4k on the Bancho Golemon. And I have no idea why I did that, because Lordknightmon's at 15,000 DP whenever the Knightmon comes into play. So I didn't have to lower his DP. So Lordknightmon and Alter S just crash. Whereas I could have just forced him to block or let me run over his Alter S. I have no idea why I did that. So I go ahead and swing with Gladiamon just to see if he'll block it. Because if he does block it, I can Blinding Ray and then Digivolve into Lordknightmon and run it over. Sadly, he does not. And I don't want to, like, quote, waste any of the cards in my hand, so I just hard pass to put him to 3. I don't want to just drop a Lordknightmon and have it end my turn and let him just do something to it. And I don't want to waste the StarMons. I don't want to hard play the Pitomon. So I just hard pass. And he Gaia forces my stack Lordknightmon, or my stack Knightmon, and puts me to 5. Not a huge deal. And I go ahead and just hard play the Pito, just to choke him to 1. Because I want to wait for him to commit to do something before I drop my only Lordknightmon I have in my hand now. He plays the Mechanorimon for 4 and puts me to 3. That's fine. Let's see what I draw into. So I draw into a Kentorosmon. Not terrible. So something cool here. So Kentorosmon, I Digivolve, go to 0. So I minus 2 security on the 2 Digimon on his field. And so right now his Bancho Golemon's 14,000 DP. So if I swing with the Kentorosmon, he can block it and my Kentorosmon will die. But then my Kentorosmon will proc minus 11,000 DP on the Bancho, and Bancho's effect of gaining 3,000 DP will no longer be in effect because I only have 2 Digimon on the field. So it'll actually kill the Bancho if he blocks it, which is pretty cool. And so I just swing into a security. And even if I die into a security check, the same thing happens, which is pretty cool. So the answer here is to block with Mechanorimon, which is the correct play either way, because if there's a really good chance at 11,000 DP I'm going to die to whatever I check in his security. So it is a good play by Finley to block that with the Mechanorimon. But it doesn't get him out of the woods. Like, he can't just run over my my Kent on his turn. But I go ahead and TK and grab a Bushi out of my security. Another misplay is coming up. Prepare yourselves. It's pretty bad. So Finley digivolves into defeat, and then draws from the Takumi effects. He gets to pop my Tamer. Unfortunately, that's a mandatory effect. And he swings into my Kentorosmon, and I just let it happen. I have 2 blockers on the field, and I just let him run it over for no reason. Feels dumb, man. I have no idea what I was thinking. I knew as soon as I was putting it in the trash, I knew that I had made a mistake. But I'd already like accepted that he was running it over whenever I was moving it in my trash, so like it was too late to like takesy backsy since it's like an official event. But yeah, I had 2 blockers on the field and just let him run that over for literally no reason. Definitely a pretty big mistake, because if I hadn't done that, I could have just ran over the X antibody on this turn. And because he has an X antibody in the field, I have no reason to leave my blockers on the field, since they're just going to die to the X antibody. So I just swing with both of them and lose 2 memory from each one of them. And it does survive, which doesn't matter. He can kill it whenever he swings with X antibody. But the important thing is I got him down to 1 security. He swings into my secure with X antibody and then blows up the Unimon. Triggers a Meteor Shower, and we do have things to play from our hand. I play the Superstar Mons to kill the Shoutmon so he can't check my security with it. Get pooped on. And that was actually another reason why I was holding the Starmons, is because I knew that there was a Meteor Shower in my security from earlier when I looked at it. And Finley does hit 2 targets with the Shoutmon. He does get to choke me to 1, unfortunately, since he did pop my Tamer. So I swing security with Kodomon. He's going to be able to stop one of the attacks with Antibody's effect, but I'm going to swing with both of them. I do lose a memory from Takumi's effect. Lets it go through, and my Kodomon does survive the 1000 DP check. Very nice. And then I play Knightmon to kill the Shoutmon. I would have swung with the Starmons to force him to stop the attack, but I would have lost another memory and he would have gone to 1. I wanted to get rid of the other body he had on his field. And giving him a bunch of memory is not really a huge deal since he is playing some kind of Mega Zoo variant. So he swings over my suspended Digimon and pops Knightmon with X Antibody's effect, which I expected. I do have Blinding Ray and Bushi in my hand, so if he does make the mistake of giving me too much memory, I can just kill him. He plays Monzimon for 5 to go to 2, and then Digivolves Antibody on top of Antibody to successfully choke me to 1. And we just hit time in the round, so I'm going to be turn 0. Finley's going to be turn 1. I'll be turn 2, and then Finley will get turn 3. It's either 3 turns, technically 4 turns, 2 apiece, or 5 minutes, whichever comes first for how time works in Digimon. So I swing with Starmons, force him to stop the attack. I do lose a memory from Takumi, but it's not really a big deal. I Digivolve my Bushi. I'm pretty sure I still have another one in my hand. Nope, I don't. Okay. And I play a Pulsemon and then draw. So I'll get 1 more turn, and Finley will get this turn and then 1 more turn. What I just did actually forces him to attack over my suspended Digimon and kill the other one. He actually can't check security because I have 3 swings if he doesn't actually just kill my Digimon. Basically, there's not really a win condition for him here. We're either going to draw or I'm going to win the game, just depending on what he does. So I did successfully set myself up, even though he got that antibody on the field and it's sticking. But because I won game 1, if we draw game 2, I win the match. That's how that works. So he digivolves into Lordknightmon, suspends Takumi to draw a card. And he's considering dropping the Zwart. That's why he was looking at his trash to see what his targets were. So he swings over Starmons, kills Pulsemon with Antibody's effect. And then digivolves into Zwart, mills 3, and then brings back 2 5 or lower, or 2 8 cost or lower black or purple Digimon. His only target in his trash is the 1 Mechanorimon though. That does put 2 blockers on his field, which is unfortunate, but he does give me 6 memory. So I have some choices I can make. So I could spiral the Mechanorimon if I put another body on the field. The issue I have is I only have 1 Blinding Ray in my hand. If I had 2 Blinding Rays in my hand, I could double Blinding Ray, go to 10, play Bushi, go to 5, spiral the Mechanorimon, and then swing with Bushi, lose a memory to go to 0, and then swing with the other Bushi to lose another memory, and he only has 1 blocker on the field. So I determined I can't do that since I only have 1 Blinding Ray in my hand, so I Meteor Shower to put Super Starmon on the field, and I Spiral Masquerade the Mechanorimon. So this guarantees he can't kill me. I'm giving him 1 memory, and I have 4 security, so like there's literally no way for him to win. So I do take the match. He doesn't have a win condition on his last turn. So I do win because we draw officially for game 2, and I won game 1. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content and want to come back for more. Until next time, see ya.